Good morning. Welcome to County History Today. This is the inaugural podcast of a video series that will cover local points of interest and historical landmarks in Santa Clara County. My name is Nicholas Clayton, and today we are at the Los Altos History Museum located in the City of Los Altos Civic Center, and we are at the J.Gilbert Smith House.
Well, hello.
Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you, Nicholas. Do come into J.Gilbert Smith House.
Thank you very much. All right, great. Thank you for having us today.
You are welcome.
Great. So, tell us a little bit about where we are, but first, tell us who you are and what you are doing for this great house here in Los Altos.
Well, I am not Mrs. Smith. She died in 1971. I am Liz Nyberg, and I am a docent at the Los Altos History Museum, and I love giving tours of Gilbert Smith's home. Yes, I have probably been a docent since about 1990.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So about how many groups of students have you led through this house?
Oh, I do bring third grade tours in, and I've done third grade tours maybe 6 years, 7 years.
Wow.
And it's every third grade class in Los Altos.
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
Great.
A little bit of local history is what they get.
Awesome. That's great. So tell us a little bit about Mr. Smith and what is so unique about this house.
Mr. Smith was a carpenter. He moved here from Oregon in 1901, started building this house. It took him till 1905. He lived in a tent outside while he was building it. The wood here is the heart of redwood that was cut down in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and there is not a knot in all of this wood. So it's premier. Gilbert Smith knew his prospective bride, Margaret Hill, when he lived in Oregon. And then he moved here, she moved here. That's quite a story. They did not marry until the two of them were in their mid-50s, early 50s, I should say. So they never had children. And that was because Smith moved in here with his mama and his sister when the house was done. And we think Margaret said, "I am not going to live in that house with your mama."
Wow.
So that's why for 30 years they courted. And finally when mama died, they married and she moved into this house.
Wow. See?
Not like life today.
No, it's a bit different, that's for sure.
Gilbert loved built-ins, and he has these beautiful sliding doors here that work so easily. And they were necessary because he kept the heat in the living room, hung a heavy velvet curtain on the rod. The floor furnace was not original to the house, but that was added later. And so I'll be showing you other built-ins. Would you like to come into the living room?
That'd be great, please.
So in the living room we have more built-ins beside the fireplace. He probably had his fireplace tools here. And the fireplace was the source of heat for the whole house. And you know it does get cold here in the winter, so that's why he would hang drapes on both sides of the living room and kind of warm up the room. Several things I'd like to point out here. The antimacassar. What is that? Well, there was a men's hair oil in the early days called macassar. And women, wives, did not want the husband sitting here and leaning back and getting oil all over their beautiful pieces of furniture. So they put doilies here.
Oh, that's what they're for.
That is it. Doilies have gone away, but then so has macassar. So we don't worry about that now. I love to show the piano. This is a new acquisition for us, but it is a square Steinway. And in this photograph, we have his wife, Margaret Smith, after they married, at the piano. She loved to entertain, and this is Christmas 1946. She had friends over for a holiday party. Mr. Smith was much more shy. He loved his orchard, not so much entertaining people. So this is basically identical to the photograph, but we can't say it was her piano. We have not been able to determine that. Here is a photo of the Smiths after they had married. He did some other homes in Los Altos, and he built some homes on College Avenue at Stanford. But his main love was being an orchardist. And he had such a great Blenheim apricot orchard here that people came from far and wide to get tips from him how he did his orcharding. I should also say that this house is set up to be a Depression-era house, 1930s. So we will be seeing some things here that are indicative of Depression.
And you said the orchard because back then, Los Altos
was
an orchard. And we will see a picture of this later, but currently we're in a civic center with a library and a police station and a community center and next to downtown. There's a lot of buildings, but back, if we could go back to that time when he built this house, even up to the 30s, this was an orchard. It was.
He had 10 acres in the front, 5 acres in the back, and he really took good care of the orchard. He, in 1952, Los Altos incorporated as a city, and then they started looking for a place to have their civic center. And they looked many places, finally settled on the front 9 acres of Mr. Smith's orchard, which he sold to the city. He did not donate it. But we have kept apricot trees there as a reminder of his orchard. The house was always on this site, never moved.
Very cool.
Another thing I like to point out is this item. And when the school children come, I ask them what they think it is, and the best answer I got was a jukebox. I thought that was really good. They don't think it's a TV because it really has a small screen. But when they're told it's a radio, they're quite surprised. Beautifully made.
Yes, it is. The detail is beautiful on the radio.
Now, I doubt you know what this is.
I have never seen that, actually.
And I am amazed at the moms who come who don't know that this is a darning egg, shaped like an egg. And when I was in 7th grade in home ec class, I learned how to darn socks. And I would not have said darn about it. It was quite a project. So you would sit here in the evening, no television to watch, you'd go back and forth with your thread, and then you'd weave in and out going the other way. And the trick was to try not to make a ridge around here, or you'd get a blister on your foot.
Sounds like an art.
It was an art. But you know, socks are not that expensive today, so we buy socks.
Yes.
And throw them away. I think that might be it for the living room.
Yes.
Shall we move on to the dining room?
Let's go.
All right. Great workmanship. So welcome to the dining room. It must be Sunday because the table is set for company. They would be coming for Sunday dinner. And do you know what time of the day Sunday dinner was?
I'm not sure. I was guessing in the evening.
Well, then you would be late for dinner because it would be about 1 o'clock, maybe 2, after church. And the guests that Margaret and Gilbert are entertaining today are Paul Schaup and his wife Rose. Paul Schaup was considered the father of Los Altos because he brought the Southern Pacific Railroad through town. And then you could live here in the summer and get to the city every day by train and commute. So he really made Los Altos come alive. I like to show off some of our Depression-era glass because this is set up as a Depression-era house. There were usually the peach color, maybe apricot color, or the green.
Oh, can I see one for a second?
You may.
Oh, yeah. So what made this so... Oh.
It wasn't valuable then. Now it's a collector's item. You could get it free in a cereal box or free at the gas station with a fill-up.
Wow.
Times, they have changed.
Yes, they have.
The other glass we have here is carnival glass. So in the 40s and the 50s, this would be at a carnival, and you could pitch a penny or a dime. If it landed in the cup, then you got to pick a prize.
Yeah.
And I think this is pretty awful looking. And that's collector's items now too. So let's go on into the kitchen.
All right.